Today, we're taking an in-depth look at the brand new Fitbit Charge 6, one of Fitbit's most popular fitness trackers, given how many premium features it is able to pack in at a very reasonable price at just $159. And the Charge 6 makes a good number of improvements over the previous Charge 5, from a very much improved heart rate sensor, the ability to broadcast your heart rate to other devices like Peloton, iFit, or other fitness devices, auto exercise recognition, over 20 additional sports profiles, and even the ability to zoom in on the display. Additionally, as this is the first charge to be made after Google bought Fitbit, there are new integrations including route navigation with Google Maps, music control with YouTube Music, and direct access to Google Wallet. And of course, many other features of the Charge 6 have stayed roughly the same, from the built-in GPS, 7-day battery life, always-on AMOLED touchscreen display, ECG app, sleep and recovery monitoring, and more. Now, if you're a fan of sports watches or fitness tech, or just appreciate unbiased reviews that get right to the point without wasting your time, consider liking this video or even subscribing to Connect the Watts if you want to see more videos just like this. Now, looking at the Charge 6, you'd be pretty hard pressed to be able to tell the difference between it and the previous Charge 5. It's roughly the same size and weight with the same bright and colorful AMOLED display. A part of what makes Fitbit a popular option is just how easy it is to use and navigate with, and that has stayed the same as well. You can swipe up to see some of your daily health metrics, swipe down to adjust settings, and swipe left or right to use various features like starting a workout. It also comes with a silicone band in the box, which I found pretty comfortable to wear, and that band comes with two sizes, both a small and large, depending on your wrist circumference. Now, in terms of battery life, not much has changed with the Fitbit 6, offering the same 7-day max battery life as the Charge 5. Though this will depend on your personal settings and how much you use that internal GPS. If you turn on the always-on display and use an hour or so of the internal GPS each day, the battery life gets much closer to 2 days. So you'll definitely want to play around with the settings to find the mixture of features and battery life that works best for you. Now, speaking of that internal GPS, that is one of the things that make the Charge 6 unique when compared to, for example, Fitbit's lower-priced Inspire 3. Now, to save battery, the Charge 6 is automatically set to use your phone's GPS when in range and use its own when not. However, of course, I wanted to test out how well the GPS works on its own when not connected to the phone, and unfortunately, so far, the results have been pretty bad, with the GPS often struggling to be at all accurate and sometimes just turning off mid-run altogether. I hope this is improved pretty quickly, but until then, I would suggest to use the GPS setting that takes the info from your phone. Also, another new feature that I think is pretty nice is that when paired with your phone, you can now connect your Fitbit Charge 6 to Google Maps. So if you put walking or even driving directions on your phone, the Charge 6 can display that turn-by-turn navigation guidance on its display. Since the Google Map directions are not an actual map that you can see, it isn't going to be the most useful when out on the trails, but it is nice to use when running on the streets. However, when discussing accuracy, we also need to talk about the new heart rate monitor, which Fitbit says has been drastically improved, and after testing, I can confirm that yes, it has definitely been improved by quite a bit. Comparing the Charge 6 heart rate tracking to the gold standard Polar H10 chest strap, the Fitbit stayed really consistent with it and overall performed excellently during multiple run tests. Now, the Fitbit Charge 6 also emphasizes recovery through sleep and stress tracking. The sleep tracker works pretty well, though you do need to make sure you have it strapped on fairly tightly, as even if it's just a little bit loose, it can cause it not to track your sleep properly. But what's really nice here is that every morning you not only can see how well you slept, but also your SpO2, your body temperature, breathing rate, and heart rate variability, or HRV. And as I often mention in my videos, I find HRV tracking to be a very important piece of monitoring your health and recovery, and I'm happy to see it tracked well here and seemingly very accurate. So that's great. Then while you're awake, the Fitbit Charge 6 can analyze your stress using an EDA scan, which when activated detects the tiny changes in your sweat levels alongside heart rate tracking to help determine your ability to tolerate and respond to stress and create for you a daily stress score. Now, Fitbit will take all of these numbers and all of this information and create for you a daily readiness score as well, but we'll discuss that in a moment when we get to Fitbit's premium membership. First, however, let's cover some of the other features here because, again, Fitbit really did manage to fit a lot of new stuff into this tiny device. For one, you can now broadcast your heart rate to other devices, which is the first time you can do this with a Fitbit device. And that is extremely useful. So now this can be used with external fitness equipment like Peloton bikes or treadmills. Also included now are music controls, which allow you to start, stop, or skip tracks when connected to your phone, though only if you use YouTube Music. And while it's great if you have YouTube Music, it does sort of feel a little lame that it doesn't control just the music playing on your phone in general, like most other wearables do. It just sort of feels like Google is attempting to push people to get YouTube Music, when I think all that it really does is push people away from getting devices like this towards ones that are more inclusive. There's also a nice ECG app included here, which allows you to get an ECG reading in about 30 seconds. There's also now Google Wallet support, which is great, so you don't always have to carry your wallet around with you if you just want to get some of your cards set up on here. And also there is a new feature called Start Track, which helps automatically start and record your workouts for you by noticing the movements you are doing. So if you start a run and you forget to start recording it on the Fitbit, it'll usually recognize that and ask if you want to start that workout and then get all the data that you would have otherwise missed. And then of course, the Fitbit Charge 6 comes with 6 free months of its premium membership, after which, if you wish to continue, it'll cost an additional $9.99 per month. So the premium service gets you additional scoring like your daily readiness score and further breaks down your sleep and stress scores. And it also comes with a large amount of workouts that you can follow along to. Personally, I'm not a fan of this, but it's far from the end of the world, as most of the information I would use remains accessible here with or without that premium membership. You do lose that daily readiness score, which to me is not really much of a loss at all, as I think that readiness score is probably one of the least accurate scores that I've seen. It relies almost entirely on your previous activity and sleep to tell you how ready you are for another hard day, when it should be more focused on personalized data like heart rate variability. So given that I wouldn't listen to its suggestions anyway, it's not much of a loss. The stress management score breakdown is also something that I personally wouldn't mind losing, though the biggest bummer is that you do lose the sleep breakdown, so your ability to see your deep or REM sleep. And that's useful information to have, but I probably wouldn't want to pay $10 a month for it, especially when almost every other device out there gives you this breakdown for free. I do, however, see the workouts being worth it for some people though, and $10 per month for a pretty wide range of workouts in addition to this data isn't a bad deal. I just wish it was completely separated so that the membership was for people who wanted those workouts only and not people who wanted a more in-depth breakdown of some of their metrics like sleep. That said, the Fitbit Charge 6 is actually a fitness tracker that I do really like, and I do think would be a great option for a lot of people. I would say if you're looking for a simple fitness and sleep tracker that's easy to use and your exercise is more casual and you don't mind if the GPS tracking can be a little off, then I would say this would be an excellent option, especially at this price point. Though if you don't need some of the features like its integrated GPS or heart rate broadcasting or music control, then you might be better off looking at the lower cost Fitbit Inspire 3, which I reviewed last year, and you can check out that review today. As always, this is Colin Jenkins with Connect the Watts. Appreciate you being here, and I'll see you next time.